All right, here we are with another episode. We are recapping September for some freak reason. Yes, y'all are freaks, but you're here. You love to hear me yap about my life in specifics and the chaos in it. I don't know if you can relate to it or you just like to make fun of it, but either way, you show up for these recap episodes. Okay, so let's dive into it. The month of September for us, the Labor Day weekend was hella cold and a disappointment all in all. And then we had birthday chaos for my two kids. And then we had yet another concert with my daughter. I had to travel to Atlanta and celebrating another year with my husband, plus a couple of extras. So grab your drink and let's dive in. Welcome to the Chaotic Compass Podcast, the show where motherhood is wild, midlife is weird, and the drinks are never far away. Hey, I'm Stefanie, your host, chaos coordinator, and fellow human, just trying to kind of keep it together-ish. But this podcast is your space for unfiltered real talk, a little humor, and a lot of honesty, and maybe a little meltdown or two. So grab your drink, take a breath, and let's navigate this mess together. Yeah, so what is up? Hey guys, Stefanie here, diving into my past month of September. Crazy that it's already Q4, the fourth quarter, for those of you not into the nerdalicious that I am. Anywho, it's October, and so we're going to recap September. You guys, September is always a crazy month because we're kind of coming off of an intense summer with the business and then getting into birthdays and trying to shift gears into the off season and to get into the holidays. So September is always that weird month for us, but let's go. So September, I, for Labor Day, didn't have any of the kids. They were all with their other parents that weekend. So Ryan and I went down to Buxton, which is in Hatteras, the Outer Banks for North Carolina, and we stayed at a friend's RV down there. And so yay for free awesomeness. But the whole weekend, it was yuck. Right? Labor Day, you're thinking like barbecues, sun, it's the last, unofficial weekend of the summer. No, man, it was not even a little bit warm. I think we had a little bit of time on Sunday or Monday before we left, but most of the time that we were down there, it was just wrong, right? And then topped it all off because Ryan had to work that night, Saturday night trip. On our charter boat, and so we didn't leave until he got in from that, and they didn't dock the boat until 10:30. So we didn't get to where we were going until like 1 a.m., almost 2 a.m. So that was fun. But besides the blustery cold, it was really nice to just, because there were some people down there, but it wasn't like crazy crowded like it would normally be. So it was kind of nice, and just we got to go over to Ocracoke. I will never ever not love Ocracoke, just to preach about that island. If you haven't been, you should go. But to be able to just hit up some of my faves, get to the Ocracoke Oyster Company, got my pineapple cilantro margaritas. You know what I'm saying, but anywho, those slap different. I don't know. I don't even think if anybody were to make them anywhere else, it would hit the same way it hits down there, even if it wasn't beautiful and sunny and amazing. So, but it was nice to get away, but at the same point, what the fuck? But that whole time, it really, just made me step back and think as far as how weather can just throw my whole vibe off. And I don't know, I guess maybe it was just like this hard shift into, hey, it's not summer anymore, bestie. And I was like, I'm not ready. So I had to come to terms with that. And it was pretty brutal. And then we shifted right into birthday chaos. And so I had been trying not 4 weeks, but for several weeks with my children, because their birthdays are back to back. and trying to get them to agree upon anything, much less help me plan anything. Usually it's Kylie that plans it all and then just lets me know how much it's going to cost or what I have to do. But this year was weird. It wasn't organized. It was like last minute. And so it all came together. We shout out to this cute little boutique here in Yorktown. It's so cute. Called the Thirsty Flower. So we basically, she gave us all of the flowers. I keep hitting the mic. I don't know how to stop doing that. I apologize. It's fine. So you get to like rent this little stand and then you buy all these flowers, and then so your group can make your own bouquets. It was really, really cute, and Kylie and her friends had a blast. Liam did not partake in any of that, didn't want to have anything to do with that. Basically was antisocial, showed up for the food, all of the hamburgers, and the cheesecake that was made specially by my mother-in-law, who is amazing at baking cakes, and she should do that full time. But anyways, yeah, so, and then Kylie with, I don't know, 5 or 6 of her friends, and I don't know, maybe I've forgotten how I was as a teenage girl, but just the high-pitched level, like when they all get together, they all just get to just a higher octave, and then you're just, I don't know, that sound like Beaker from the Muppet, but you know what I mean, like, or maybe you don't know what I mean and you empathize and sympathize with it. But it was just high level talk. My daughter is a Yapasaurus for sure. And all of her friends are basically the same. And it's a lot. It's just, so birthday season is over. We're shifting into, well, I do have one more Sunday. My niece's third birthday is on Sunday, but then we're kind of going to shift into, and then yours truly, Stefanie's, me. Hi, I'm Steph. My birthday is coming up in November, the big 4-0. I don't know how I feel about that yet. So we're supposed to be going to Austin. We're going to Austin for Austin, Texas, not just like some like random ass Austin, like the big one. Yeah, going out to Austin, Texas for my birthday. So going to see what I can get into out there. I don't know, but definitely some celebration, some like, hey, how the fuck did I get here? I'm 40. Am I really an adult? I don't know. I should be by 40, right? Right? I don't know. Just kind of mourning the loss of the 30s. So anyway, so we're just gonna, chalk it up to, yay, we're gonna go to Austin. So another fun thing I did in September, I don't know, this was a little weird, but so another concert with my daughter, and this was her, I'm pushing you, this is my leverage over you to finally get your license. So she's done everything except for the behind the wheel. She's like hella close, guys. And so this was my leverage to keep pushing her, to keep driving, to get more comfortable with being behind the wheel, because she keeps involving herself into so much stuff, and she's living her best life, but does not have, she doesn't drive. She doesn't have that license. So I have to. I love dropping my kids off at, and then letting them live their best lives. Anyway, so went down a rabbit hole. I went with my daughter. I took her to a concert in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we went to see Conan Gray. I don't know if you know, look him up. It's cool, whatever. She is in love with this guy. All of his songs are just gut-wrenching and lyrically punching, just like every time you turn around. So I got to travel 5 hours. No, it took us a lot longer because it was basically raining the entire time we were traveling. But a fuck ton of hours, and then pull up, and we it was very beautifully done, and I'm not knocking this guy. He's just not my fave. Okay, Leve was a hell of a lot better because it was a symphony. It was like whimsical and magical. This guy was a lot, right? He's very theatrical, very over the top. Kylie had a blast, but the thing that topped it off, it was like, I would say 85 to 90% screaming girls. So I'd already just gone from birthday party where it was like 5 or 6. Now we're going to thousands and thousands of screaming girls. And it was a lot, and so I just, my brain needed definitely a break. We finally got back we stayed at a hotel down there. And just, it was a lot. And so, not dogging this artist. I know my daughter listens to this, and I'm trying to pick my words carefully, but it's just not for me. I will sing along with some of his songs, but it's just not my jam. So, but it is my daughter's, and this was officially her birthday present and the motivation to push her over the edge to be independent with her license. And so went to a whole nother town, a whole nother state to go see this guy in concert. And was mentally exhausted. By the time I came back, I dropped her off and then came home, packed another bag, and then went to my bestie's house and celebrated her birthday. So it's, birthday palooza in September for sure. But then after, a night with fun with my bestie and her husband and her brother and her brother's wife, so we all partied and hung out, and then the next day, then I had to come home and then pack another bag because then I went to Atlanta. I had to go to Atlanta for my job, and my husband tagged along. He was my plus one. So basically it equivalated to, I worked all week. I think I had 52 hours that week, and then my husband got to be a tourist. He went to the aquarium down there, and he went to this beautiful botanical garden, and I got to see pictures. The cool thing was we did go to so apparently this isn't just in Atlanta. They have 2 down there, but it was a speakeasy that it was the Red Phone Booth. I'll tag it in the show notes so you can check it out. But yeah, you basically pull up and then you put in this code in the phone booth, and then the back of the phone booth is supposed to open. But that's not what happened here. So what came out was this old version of what I could equivalent like Channing Tatum looking like maybe in his 60s, and this guy was like buff, and like he comes out and he's like, it's not working, and then and apparently we had the code for their other location in Atlanta, whatever. And so he gave us the right code, which is cool. And so then that code didn't work, and it was like, bro, like, can we just come, like, obviously we know the code, we know what we're supposed to be doing, but it's not working. So if you could just let us in. Anyways, so I have mad anxiety because 1, it's not working. And then 2, like, it's in that little booth. I don't know. It's called Hotlanta down there for one reason. It's not like sexy hot, like not even close. It's just humid all the time, all year round. It's just like swamp. And we're in this freaking, literally like a London style red phone booth. There's no air movement, and I'm sweating my ass off. And because I'm menopausal, and so that's what it is. I'm going to do an episode on like all of the shit. And so maybe somebody can sympathize, and dudes are probably not going to listen to the episode, but it is what it is. And so sweating profusely for because of that. Plus it's hot as fuck. Plus I have anxiety. So it was just pouring. And so, it's not glamorous anymore. I'm in a dress, because they're like, you have to dress up. And I didn't have like dressy up clothes. I just had like work dressy up clothes. So, because I didn't prepare, because we didn't have any plan. We literally shot from the hip the entire time. Anyways, it was cool. Really fancy drinks. Every drink was $15. Well, if you're getting alcoholic drinks, every alcoholic beverage was $15 minimum. And really cool fancy drinks. I will make a blog about all the cute little fancy drinks that I had. But the downer, okay? Cigars. Okay, you're keeping with the speakeasy vibe, right? You got a whole cigar room where you can buy them back in there, and it was really cool. But having a guy sitting 2 seats down from you smoking a really nasty smelling cigar isn't the vibe for me. Like, there was, one guy that had, like, it wasn't that bad. It was actually really sweet smelling, for a cigar. But most of them smelled horrible. And then when I walk out of there, I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe it's just in my nostrils or something. It's just like seared into my sinus cavities or something. No, we get back to the hotel. I take a shower and I had to wash my hair. It's embedded in my DNA now. I really thought about just burning that dress that I had. Luckily, when I got home, I washed it. It did come out, but it was just like, it was everywhere. So I went to Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta is not my favorite city. Hey, if you come from Atlanta or you come from around there, no disrespect, but what the fuck with the traffic and the driver? Y'all don't give a fuck down there, for facts. It was like somebody was driving either 40 or they're driving 400. And we had rented a car, right? So I have a pretty decent size SUV because I have hella kids to tote around. And my husband has a big back, super duty truck. So of course, we rented the smallest car that you could get. And we had a Nissan Versa, right? Okay. And so it was me and Ryan in it and 2 things of luggage. And it felt like that was all the room that this car could handle. And I felt cramped and small, and it was weird. And I felt like if anybody were to hit us in that, we were going to die. 100%. Like 100%, we're going to die in that vehicle. It might have a good safety rating, but I don't know because the way it felt like death. I felt like at any moment I could have died. Like, does this thing even have any airbags, or is it just like a poof of magical dust that comes out from the compartments that were supposed to have the airbags, and then you magically are taken into the afterlife? I don't know. But I felt like every time we got in that car, I was getting closer and closer to fucking around and finding out. And I wasn't even trying to fuck around and find out. I was just trying to get for the 10-minute ride from where my hotel was to where my office was. So respectfully, fuck Interstate 75. Just saying. Fuck that. The whole thing. Fuck Interstate 75. Respectfully, disrespectfully, whatever. Okay, but since I was down there in Atlanta, I have to Atlanta. I feel like I keep saying it wrong. Atlanta. I don't think anybody actually enunciates the whole thing. Anyways, why am I getting particular on? So, any hoops, focus. Okay, so when we were down there, the one place I did get to go to besides the smoke-filled cigar underground speakeasy, I went to the Atlanta Hard Cidery. Because cideries are my favorite. I love ciders, and we went to it's like this little it was very small. I don't think as small as Sly Clyde that's here in Hampton, but it was pretty small. They had a ton of different flavors, and we I guess because the day that we went, they had flights for $7, and normally a pint is $7, so it was beautiful. So anywho, so I had to get some and bring it back. And so we are going to showcase today the Atlanta's Crisp Apple. This is just their basic one. So get right in the mic. I know you guys love this part. Me too. Oh, maybe. Oh, they almost didn't go. Okay. Yeah, it's just different. It's not as sweet as like a Sly Clyde, but it's definitely really good. And that's going to be the other place that I get to go to. Sorry, I'm going to get it together. Maybe I should swallow my drink before I talk. So, and when we go to Austin, I'm going to go to that cidery. That one's been around for a really long time, almost as long as, probably longer than Bold Rock. And that's been around since 2012. So I'm excited. I love cidery. So if you have a suggestion for a cidery, let me know, because it's my jam, and I love to travel and try to venture out and to do new things. And so Atlanta Hard Cider, guys, or Atlanta Hard Cider Co. I apologize. It's not, they don't consider themselves a cidery, but even though it's cidery. Anyways, check it out. I'll put the link to their stuff in my show notes, and I think you can actually order and have it shipped to you. So check it out. So segue into, Ryan and I celebrated our sixth. Math is hard. Our 6th wedding anniversary, and then it's 10 years together, because the day we got married is the same day we officially started dating. Dating is such a weird word, but just going to dive into that a little bit. Just so marriage is work, like real work. I don't know if anybody has ever told you that, and that's not just me, trying to talk people out of getting married, but it's definitely not the movie montage that you see. It's not all whimsical and magical and hearts coming out of your chest or whatever that they try to paint in these silly fucking Hallmark fucking shits. It's not that. It's work. Like the kind of work where you're both just exhausted and sitting in silence, and you're trying to figure out if you're mad, you're hungry, or just like overstimulated from each other, and trying to figure out like yourself while trying to figure out you in a relationship at the same time. We have been through a lot of stuff, especially this past year. It's been a lot between, businesses and parenting and co-parenting and step parenting and long weeks apart. And it's just, honestly, it's like really easy to forget that we're supposed to be partners and not just like co-workers raising humans and paying bills. And at some points, and that's kind of like why like we kind of like didn't do so well this year, is that we really just became more of cohabitators. Like we were just, common goal is to just exist, pay the bills, get the kids to where they need to go, and that's it. And this year was brutal for sure. So this anniversary, it really wasn't about like fancy gifts or grand gestures, and that's not us in general, but it was more just about like taking a deep breath and really realizing that like we're choosing each other. And so it's definitely not perfect. Like 1,000% not perfect. And some days we're in sync, like we get it. And then there's other days where it's like we're completely on different planets. But I'm really coming to realize that that's what marriage is supposed to be, ? Because I'm still figuring it out. But it's not this constant high connection, like lovey-dovey, yay. It's learning how to stay steady through all of the noise. And sometimes it's remembering that love doesn't always look like butterflies. Sometimes it looks like making each other coffee even when you're annoyed. And that's definitely Ryan. I think this season of our marriage is more about like navigating the in-between, the space between like comfort and growth, right? Between love and frustration, between what we thought it would be and what it actually really is, and then to where we want it to be. And honestly, I'm okay with it. Like this is real life. It's messy and chaotic, and it's not perfect. Again, I've said that before. It's not perfect. So I hope if anybody is actually in this like place of you're struggling, like, oh my God, it's nothing like the Hallmark movie that I just watched. Nah, it's not. Sorry to break it to you, sis. But you're not alone. That's my point. Like, you're not alone with what you're thinking. So Ryan and I celebrated another year. It didn't have fireworks, but we had a lot of grace. And maybe that's what it's supposed to be. Less sparkle and more substance. I don't know. I wrote this down and I was like, I don't know if that'll hit, but like, that's kind of how it feels. So, but yeah. And then, okay. So, and I'm not trying to be political with this statement, right? I'm not very left or not very right. But the government shutdown is crazy. And how many people that it's directly affecting is insane. So my job, I work for a contractor, and then the office that I specifically am a part more than I oversee the other offices. The main office that I'm a part of is for a federal government, the Air Force and the Army bases close to us. And seeing how many people that are not in the office that we work with on a regular basis because they've been furloughed is insane. And the amount of people that are going to be affected by the 15th of this month because a bunch of grown-ups can't get their shit together and balance a budget. Again, it's not about left or right. It's about the people that it's affecting. And my heart literally goes out to every single one of, like, my ex-husband, my oldest daughter's dad. He's furloughed right now, and he's not 100% sure what he's going to do. And it's like, how many friends that we have that are directly or indirectly affected by this, and it's just going to trickle down. Like, where we live here in Virginia, we have a fuck ton of military bases. It's literally our economy. That's the only reason why Hampton Roads is Hampton Roads. It has so much military sustenance. I don't even know a better word to say, but it just military economic background, and that's literally going to dwindle, and you're just going to see all of this inflation that happened. The bubble is bursting, and it's sad. And the only people that it's really going to hurt is the people like you and me, the people that are in the middle. We don't care who's right or wrong. We just care about feeding our family and putting food and clothes and a roof over our family's heads. And family is a loose word. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have kids. A family can mean just you and your cat. A family can mean just you and your dog. It's, a family is a family union. Okay. So I had somebody come at me in my comments one time about, you always speak about your family. And it's like, bro, you have a family. You just don't see it. You're just too salty. So that little comment. Anyways, we are only concerned about our families right now. And I say we, and I'm not directly financially affected by this right now, but I know that it's going to be this trickle down effect, not with just my actual job, but our businesses as well. So I just hope that Congress and the people that we have elected, or may not have voted for, but the people that have been elected, get their shit together and see how badly it's hurting the middle, just us in the middle. And I hope that eventually one day it will stop being that the middle is the little pawns, and that we are going to be more than just that. So my heart goes out to all of you that are affected directly or indirectly. And so just wanted to put that out there. This isn't like a shameless plug. I'm not trying to get like fucking likes or whatever just because I actually talked about the government shutdown. I don't have a side to pick here. I just see it. Everybody, that I've talked to has been affected one way or another, and it's sad. And then what the fuck is up with this storm? All right. So here in Virginia, we're not, hurricanes are a thing. It is what it is. And so usually we'll watch it for days and we can see which way it's coming. Well, this guy, I don't even think it's going to be enough to like be named, but it's enough to make a ruckus, right? So this storm is going to pop out of nowhere, and gonna have like 40 to 50, maybe up to 60 mile an hour winds with it. And we're supposed to have like very significant high tides on Sunday. And yes, I don't live in lower, where that, tidal flooding is a thing anymore, but still enough to like, what the fuck, and it just pops out of nowhere. It's not something that I've been tracking for weeks or days on end. It's just, anyways. So nor'easter preparation is me gathering the alcohol, and it's supposed to be cold and rainy and yucky. And so getting my sweaters out because I refuse to accept that it's fall. Bringing out the sweaters and hunkering down. Get those trash cans in, y'all. Make sure the Halloween decorations are tacked down or put in. And I'm really fearful that tree that got struck by lightning this summer isn't going to make it. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. So, but it is what it is. And so that's why we have insurance, I guess. Right. But yeah, so that's September in a nutshell. I have no fucking idea why you guys love that shit so much. It's literally just me bitching about my life. And I guess maybe like if I was sitting around the table and we were having drinks, you would probably be doing the same thing with me, which brings up my next plug. This is my call to action. Hey, I know you have shit you want to bitch about too. Message me, email me, DM me, find me, stalk me, find a way to get your shit out. You can even say, hey, I don't want you to use my name because I don't want my mom to know I'm bitching about you because she listens to your shit too. And if you actually use my name, she would know. So, hey, if you got shit, tell me your shit and I will, I'll put it out there because I know everybody's got shit. I literally just talked about this last week. Whether it's big or small, whether it's Great Dane or Chihuahua, we've got shit. Everybody's got shit. Let's talk about it. And so we can have some common bond of talking about shit and not harboring it in. So message me your shit. If you send me like shit pics, I'm going to block you. But send me your recapped words version of shit. I don't need any freaking GIFs or whatever. Or is it GIFs? GIFs. I don't know. I'm old. All right. I'm going to wrap it up. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as always, have a great night. All right. That'll do it for this week's episode of Chaotic Compass Podcast. I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of my chaotic life. If this episode hit a nerve or just made you feel a little less alone, go ahead and tell a friend or maybe even leave a review. Till next time, stay real, stay chaotic, and of course, keep a drink close. This is Steph with an F, signing off.